again. Y'all know I'm always talking or whatever like that. But yeah, well, welcome back. And today is going to be a different show today. Really nothing different. It's about TTC and what me and my husband did differently to or what we did to actually conceive. As you guys know that have been looking at my vlogs, and I only got like 24 y'all that's really looking at it. It's only like really 3 of y'all that's really looking. But this is my 3rd pregnancy. And it's so crazy because when you're not thinking about having children, you're just not thinking about having children. And society will tell you that, oh, you gotta wait till, you know, after you get a career, after college, once you get married, and once you settle down. And then next thing you know, when you're in your 30s, that biological clock is just tap dancing. So a lot of women that I've noticed, including myself, has been, you know, on the internet, YouTubing it, Googling it out, trying to figure out what did you do to conceive and what are your higher chances of conceiving. And then once you do get pregnant, I mean, and if something, God forbid, it didn't go right with the pregnancy, you're back at it again trying to get it done. It's like an addiction. Like you have this drive of wanting to have a baby and longing to have that baby. So I wanted to discuss that with you guys. Okay, so as you know, me and Matt, we got married in July the 20th, 2012. And right after that, immediately after that, we thought about it. Now, you know, I'm like, well, I'm up in age, he's up in age, we don't have any children. Why not? So we just went for it. And I didn't know, that was my first time actually trying to have a baby. I've never been pregnant ever before. So we just went for it. And then next thing you know, we got pregnant. And that was in 2012. The baby would have been born in May 2013. But as you guys know, I underwent a D&C because the baby didn't have a heartbeat past 6 weeks. I've never had a heartbeat, so I had to get a D&C. And you know, finding out that I was pregnant and that we were parents, that was just like the best feeling in the world. That was just, if I had to describe the feeling, it was just like as if you accept the Lord in your life and you finally know what your purpose is. It was just a feeling right next to that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, finding your spouse, and me and him created something. Now we have a baby. And I just felt like I'm going to be a mommy. It was just the best feeling in the world. So when it didn't work out, I wanted that so bad again. And so we underwent a D&C in November of 2013. November, December, January, February, March. And then on Mother's Day, and I believe Mother's Day is in May 2013, is when we got pregnant with Melody. Now, what happened was when we first with our first baby, when we were trying, we just went for it. And I've heard women try to do handstands and stuff like that, and I did a handstand, y'all. Yes, right after baby dancing, I did a handstand. I wanted to have a baby, and I was like, why not? We're married. Let's just do the thing. So we were going for it. And then with the second, with Melody, I decided, you know, because the baby didn't have a heartbeat, I looked a lot of things up online, and I heard about folic acid. So I was just taking folic acid constantly after we first lost our first baby. And, you know, just to get my system prepared and have these extra things in my body that was going to nourish the baby as well, to give it a fighting chance. So I was taking folic acid. I've looked up studies online that says majority of the time when a woman takes folic acid, there's really like no birth defects or anything like that, and you know, the chance as far as fetal development. So I was like, yeah, I definitely have to do that. This is 800 milligrams, and it basically helps with heart and reproductive and health. and supports health and women's reproductive health. So this is really good. I got this for like $4.99, almost $5, and it was buy one get the second one for free. So I actually got 2 bottles of this, and I was taking this every single day before we were baby dancing. I was just taking it because I just knew with the first, everybody kept telling me, once you get pregnant, your body is open to get pregnant again. And they will, and the doctors will tell you that. Even after birth, they'll tell you, look, use protection, because 9 times out of 10, your womb is already open for a baby. So, you know, implantation is not going to be bad at all. So, with Melody, when we got pregnant, I mean, I was already taking these before we even conceived her. And it took 4 to 5 months. That was November, December, January, February, March, April, May. It took about 5 to 6 months for us to get pregnant with Melody. And that was in 2013 is when we conceived her. And I was taking folic acids like I was popping them like Skittles. And we were baby dancing too. And I was just getting, I was just being a part of the TTC community, trying to conceive community. And I never knew the things that I know now, like far as your ovulation cycle. And I still don't know how they would chart it out. But I used a lot of things like far as like baby bump or period tracker, things like that that would tell me the day that I'm supposed to be ovulating. And somebody else can explain like your cycle. You have 28 to 30 day cycle or whatever like that. So what I did too, because I saw a lot of women online, I went to the dollar store. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I racked up because with the first pregnancy, I was going to the Family Dollar store and I was buying these pregnancy tests. And these particular pregnancy tests were like $10 a piece. And when you're trying to conceive, you're just buying pregnancy tests over and over again. And you're just spending a lot of money. So when I found out that the dollar store is selling pregnancy tests, I was blown away for just $1. So this is what it looks like far as in the dollar store, new choice pregnancy test, and these things are awesome. These things had gave me, with all 3 of my pregnancies, had let me know if I was pregnant or if I was not pregnant. So they were awesome. With Melody is when I really started taking the before she was conceived, I started taking the Ovulation Predictor Kits. And I'm going to be honest with you, I had no idea what this was, what it meant. I had to look it up online. And, of course, you have to read the back of it, too, to see what it does. Well, when you're trying to, your ovulation is basically letting you know, because I believe there's only a 24-hour window. Once your egg is released, it has 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer, to basically for it to be implanted by not implanted, what's the word I want to use? It has a 24-hour window to meet some sperm. And if the sperm if no sperm gets to this egg will die off. And then when, of course, you have your cycle, it comes out with your cycle. The ovulation, the only thing about like when you release that egg, it has to be the right time, because that some people even practice birth control because they know the days that they ovulate. So they won't have sex on the days they ovulate, but they have sex on the days they don't ovulate, and they won't get pregnant. But it's like you're trying to catch the day that egg is actually going to be there. So this Ovulation Predictor Kit will let you know if you are ovulating or not. And the way this works is that there is a control line and there is a test line. And let me see. The way it works is that if there's only one line on the control line, that means you're not ovulating. If there is another line on the test line, if it is an even color or a little darker, or even if you get a line, I would say baby dance. But the way it worked for me and with my last two, with this pregnancy and the pregnancy with Melody, is that when I got a dark surge, which means if the test line is darker than the control line, I baby danced that day. And I honestly believe that that is what really got me and hubby our new bundle of joy that's on our way twice. Nobody tells you how hard pregnancy is going to be, because first time you thinking, hey, I'm pregnant, it's going down, but it's a heartbeat. And the second time, I didn't realize, like, you know, uteruses can open, like, what is going on with that? And so with this time, you know, I made sure to take my folic acids, and I was also taking vitamin D. Because I know with Melody, they said my vitamin D levels were a little low. So, so if you can also, maybe I'm not explaining everything far as the Ovulation Predictor Kit, but this is what really helped me. But what I was also doing too was I was looking on my Baby Bump app too. So it has shown me, okay, you're supposed to ovulate on the 7th. So I would test to see, am I actually ovulating on the 7th? And what I also did too was, once I got that line, we baby danced the day before and every other day. Because it also tells you too, some places that I've read, you want to give the sperm a chance to rejuvenate their cells in the balls. Because the sperm has to swim a long distance. And I suggest any and everybody to look at this video. It's called The Great Sperm Race. And it's so funny, but it's so educational. It basically shows you in human size of what sperm is actually going through to get to your egg. And they call it's like the big D-Day or whatever like that. So you have some of the sperm that are swimming. Some of them get attacked because in the female reproductive system in our bodies, we have things that attack, you know, cells that they're unfamiliar with. So sometimes that may be why you're not getting pregnant, because your body is attacking that. Also, I mean, you guys just have to look at the movie, this documentary, because when I saw it, I said, oh, so that's what they're going through. And you want to get you start off with like over, a million, a billion, or I want to say maybe a million or a billion of the sperms that's in you, but only one sperm is going to be able to get to the egg and fertilize the egg. Isn't that crazy? There's one lady on the documentary that explains that, this lady was so nuts about sperm that she even, I think she was getting her fallopian tubes cut out or whatever like that, undergoing a hysterectomy or something like that. So her and her husband had sex, and she wanted to know if there was sperm in her tubes, and they found sperm in her tubes. So it opened my mind to, okay, I know what the soldiers are going through to get there. Now, what can I do to help them get there? And the first thing that went through my mind was gravity. 9 times out of 10, when we're having sex or when we're baby dancing, we get up right away and we use the bathroom, we wash, we take a shower, and it's then a third. That's a lot of gravity. So what I did was I put a pillow under me. I didn't want, and this is too much TMI, I didn't want him to pull out too fast, because I didn't want nothing coming out. I wanted everything like all up in there. Y'all, this is too much information. TMI, but this is for the grown folks, that are really trying to conceive. And also too, what I started to do was every time I would test, I would put a date on the back of it. And this is so crazy because, like this right here is a pregnancy test that I took October the 23rd, 2013. And as you can see, it's 2 lines on there. But see, I had to be careful too, because I had just had Melody in September, and there was still HGC levels that were in my system, and it needed to go down to little to nothing for us to get back into the work. So I remember one time I thought I was pregnant. I went to the doctors, and they did my blood test, and it was so low. It was like a 2 or something. It was just really low, and I kind of felt like the nurses in there, I don't know, like I kind of felt like maybe they were making fun of me or whatever like that. And I felt like I was going amongst all of the women that were pregnant when I was pregnant with Melody. And here I am trying to get pregnant again. I didn't tell a lot of my friends that we were baby dancing again because I didn't want to do that. Neither did I do with like family members either. Because that is something I really believe that when God puts an urge in your heart to want something, especially be a mother, then that is just an urge that it needs. You will pretty much keep going until that day actually happens. So, you know, I just told my husband, like, look, I mean, he already knew, like, on these specific days, I need you. And he was like, okay. And my husband asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I said, a baby. And he just looked at me and, you know, it's just like, okay. And he gave me a baby. But, okay, and also, too, and I'm keeping it real because a lot of y'all know I love the Lord. I love Jesus. So I also wrote a letter to him in which I said, do not open until baby is born. So this is the letter that I wrote when we were trying to conceive, and it has a lot of things. I probably don't know what it says, but it was just basically things from my heart that I wrote to God. And at the same time, everything happens from God. But remember this, is that you have to have faith. And with that, you have to have action. Action without faith is dead. I mean, you can have faith in something, but if you ain't putting action behind it, how are you supposed to produce that, right? So, those were the things that I did. Now, I do remember first pregnancy, I was working out a lot, y'all. I was taking Zumba classes, and I loved it. I was taking Zumba classes, losing weight. I was just in the sauna. I was just doing all of that, y'all. And I tell you, when a girl gets in the gym, I gets in the gym and I works it out, okay? So once we got pregnant, I was just so overwhelmed. Like, I'm going to be a mommy. I'm going to be a mommy. So when we lost the first pregnancy, I wanted that again. I didn't want to do the gym, all of that. I just wanted a baby. And then when we got it again, I was like, yes, finally. I just knew we were in there like swimwear. And then when that didn't happen, I just felt so devastated. Like, can I do this again? Can I really do this again? And I said, okay, you know, that's what it hurt me so bad that I just really wanted my baby in my arms. And I kind of felt like certain people, or I mean, things were going through my mind, like, is somebody trying to put a curse on me, or what's going on? You know, like, this isn't normal. I know everybody that had perfect pregnancies. Why am I going through this? And then, you know, people were talking about me behind my back. I mean, not in a bad way, but more so, you know, I could tell because I would have people come and, why don't y'all adopt? Excuse me? No, I mean, maybe down the line, yeah, we will adopt, but what do you mean, why don't we adopt? You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem with getting pregnant, but I'm just like, I need to keep it in there. And it's crazy because you have some people that have an issue with getting pregnant. And then you have others that went through the same walk. So, but we all are in it together where we really just want to have a baby, a healthy baby. And it's crazy when you look at all of these women, or a lot of young women and women in general out here that are having baby after baby after baby. And they're the worst mothers in the world. They don't take care of their children. I seen a documentary called It's a Girl, I think. And you know, I was pregnant. I mean, I was pregnant at this time, still being pregnant. I saw it a couple of weeks or maybe months ago. And it's called It's a Girl. And in China and in India, they would kill their girls, like, if they found out it was a girl. And here I am, I'm crying because I lost my girl. And that was the first time I had, if I could have beat an old woman up, I probably would have stumped this chick to death, like, for real. I'm keeping it real, y'all. And I know I shouldn't have been thinking that way. But this old lady was just there smiling, talking about she had 8 girls, okay? And she killed all newborns, okay? She killed them all because she found out they were girls. And she feel like if she gave life, she can take it away. And I so wanted to kill her. I know I shouldn't say it like that. I mean, I wouldn't want to kill her, but I wanted to really hurt her. Because I'm like, you would hurt an innocent baby, really, a newborn baby. And I'm sitting up here praying to, you know, carry mine to full term and to have mine and to have a heartbeat. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Let me get back to what we did to conceive. So, when we had Melody, we never, after having Melody, after if it was okay for us to actually have sex again, we never used any protection at all. We never used any protection at all. It was just like whatever. I mean, at first my husband was like, and I'm just like, look, if it happens, it happens. I'm not. It was like I wanted to have a baby. I wanted to be pregnant again, but I was so hurt from having Melody, and I kind of felt like, in the back of my head, like I don't want her to feel like, I just got over her quickly. I just wanted something to fill that void. But I don't want this child to ever feel like that this was a rebound child. Even in the fact it was, yes, because when you really look at it, if it wasn't for my daughter, if my daughter was to be born in January, this baby that I'm having right now, whether it be my daughter or my son, would not be right now. So only God works that out. And only God works that out. But this is what I was taking: folic acid. Somebody asked me a question: do you think juicing help? Definitely, because when you're juicing, you're detoxing yourself. I did a juicing before we got married. I went and got that NutriBullet to put nutrients back into my system. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm gonna be very honest with you. When I was, before we got pregnant with this baby, I was drinking wine, and I'm not a smoker. My husband does smoke cigarettes, but after Melody, I was hitting a couple of jacks, because I was stressed, I was pissed, I was hurt, and I was just upset. And I don't know. I remember one time I was drinking my wine sitting on the back porch, and I was smoking a cigarette, in which I don't smoke cigarettes. And I remember feeling like, what if I'm pregnant? And, whatever. So I remember one time I was walking down our hallway, and I leaned my body back, like as if, like a pregnant woman, like I leaned my body back, and I realized, I think I'm pregnant. And lo and behold, I was pregnant. And of course, I ditched the habit that I really didn't have anyway. And I just started, I was already taking my folic acid. And I was just, hoping and praying that, our being was going to stick. Our baby was going to have a heartbeat. A lot of things were going through my mind. So a lot of people told me, because I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, like one girl, she ended up losing her baby at like 19 weeks for a premature birth, and right after that she got pregnant. I wanted that to happen with Melody. Like, I was thinking that because she was born in September, and in October we were going to be pregnant, and it didn't happen like that, but it definitely happened very quickly, because your body is definitely prone to it. The only thing that I would say is just to be very prepared, because once you get pregnant, you want to make sure you first of all, you have insurance. Second of all, if you went through a second trimester loss, is to get a cerclage put on. And it's so crazy, because I'm sitting up here talking and giving advice of getting pregnant, but I'm still praying to get to my 40-week mark. And I feel like we are getting closer to our goals. It's just sometimes it's in disbelief. Like, it plays back over in my mind. Like, I can't believe I lost my daughter. I mean, it's still fresh. It hasn't even been a year yet. You know what I mean? So, but I understand that urge. It's like you want a baby. Once you get the good news, it's like once you get the good news that you're going to be a mommy, you want that. You want to be a mommy. And I don't think a lot of people understand it. Some people say, well, what about adoption and things like that? There's nothing wrong with adoption. You know what I mean? It's just that sometimes, and it's not just, there's nothing wrong with adoption, but I want to have my husband's child. See, my husband is adopted, but I want to give him a child that we both together made, produced, and I want to give my son, not my son, but I want to give my husband a child. And And that's just the urge that I have, and there's nothing wrong. I'm a woman. I have a right to have these urges. And it wasn't like one day I just said, hey, I think God put that on my heart. And ever since then, that's what we've been doing. So just to recap everything, dollar store pregnancy tests, when I would go to the store, I would get at least 10 a piece, $20. So I would get 10 that are pregnancy tests, and I would get 10 that are ovulation kits. Also, match, if you have an app on there, also match up your OPKs with your actual app that's on your phone to see, you know, whether or not that it's actually accurate. Also, I've heard too that coffee really helps with men because their sperm kind of shoots really, really quick to get to that egg. All I can say is relax. Don't be stressed out about certain things. Don't be stressed out about certain things. And eventually it will happen. It will definitely, definitely happen. It happened for us 3 times. I'm just praying this time that in August, we'll be bringing home a bundle of joy. And I think I told y'all this before, I told my husband, I don't care if it cries all day long. He was like, I'm going to hold you to that one. But no, I know we're going to have a real peaceful baby. But this is something that I was taking like religiously, y'all. Folic acid. If I can be a commercial, I'll be like, folic acid does the job. So I was taking this. Some people say they took their prenatal pills and things like that. But I took prenatal pills the first time when I was trying. That made me kind of not even want to do all of that. Because, you know, each pregnancy, each time you want to do something different. So the outcome will be a little different. But I did take folic acid. And that really worked. That really worked. Also, too, and I'm trying to make sure that this is not going to be too long because I'm just talking through this whole thing. Y'all know I talk too much. But that's just me. But we have not told some family members. Well, really a lot of our family members. And the reason why is because not everybody is supportive, okay? Or they have a certain way of showing they're supportive. But I just said, you know, in this particular pregnancy, I don't want any bad vibes. So the second time when we were pregnant with Melody, with our second pregnancy, we didn't get a good response from some family members. We didn't get a good response with the first pregnancy. We didn't get a good response with the second pregnancy. And we waited with Melody until we were about 14, 15 weeks to even say anything. But with this particular pregnancy, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Some people won't know until the baby is born. And it's not being like, why didn't you tell us? It's just that this is just something between me and my husband. And the reason why I'm doing my vlogs is because not only is it therapeutic for me, but also in the TTC community and women just like me who went through certain things like that. And, you know, this is my personal thing. So, and the only way that members will actually know is if they're looking at it, and so be it. But, I have a lot of, I would, if I can tell y'all how I felt, I would, but I don't want to because you never know who's looking at the videos or whatever like that. But, I just have decided, with family members and friends not to say anything until, our bundle of joy is here. So, you know, I know, you know, because right now, y'all, I'm 17 weeks. I'll be 18 weeks on Wednesday. I know my belly gonna get big. I know it's gonna be big as heck. It's gonna be huge. And I'm still not gonna say nothing. I mean that. I'm not saying anything. You will find out or you will figure it out, but you just won't hear from my mouth. And it's not being mean. It's not being disrespectful. I don't care for the vibes. I just want to have an excellent pregnancy. I want people to encourage me, not discourage me. And I encourage all of you ladies out there that if you fall off that horse, it's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to kick and get on the floor and roll. Just get all of it out of your system and try again. Try again. I'm going through it the same way. So it's not like I'm pregnant now, but I'm still waiting for my baby to be in my arms. And I want my baby to be in my arms in August, not anything sooner than that. And sometimes when it can get very discouraging, because when you see women out here who gets pregnant or carrying quadruplets and 28, 40 kids in their stomachs, and you just like, all I wanted was one. It gets very discouraging. But from what I've heard and from what I've seen, at the end, it is worth every bit of it. So this is my basically telling you guys what we did to TTC. Also remember, like I said, gravity has a lot to do with it. So even the way you are positioning when you're baby dancing, remember gravity. Gravity, and y'all know what I mean when I say gravity, right? You want it to stay inside of you as long as those boys can. So I'm gonna put a link at the bottom of this page of the Great Sperm Race, and you ladies look at that documentary if you're trying to conceive, so you can know exactly what the boys are going through to get to that egg and fertilize that egg. Try to get to know your body. I wasn't as good as a lot of women out there, like far as temping and all of that other stuff. But if you've gotten pregnant before, then 9 times out of 10, not even 9 times, 10 times out of 10, you're going to get knocked up again. So baby dust to all. Happy TTC adventures. Congratulations for all of the women who got their big fat positive. And, I just, happy baby dancing to everybody. And until then, I'll give you guys an update on my 17 going into my 18th week review. I was afraid I was petrified. Still had the force so I could catch your vibe. You were like, and I testified. G, if you gave to me. Double didn't like it, so he stopped to test me. Told I lost my melody, arose. We the song of this world, get back.